My identity was that I was one of the grandkids from the Ranbaxy family, and that was it. I actually don't want to do anything else. I want to just tell stories. I was born into a lot of privilege.
You are credited with the person who discovered Vicky Kaushal.
What I saw in him was utter brilliance. This is the one that's totally freaking me out.
Famous, the biopic on controversial personality, if I may say so, Yo Yo Honey Singh. How did that come along?
I have got the most ready dish in front of me. I would be crazy to reject it. Acting is really not my jam. Accept me for the person that I am, not for who I sleep with.
Yeah. Mozez, you're an absolute firecracker.
Sometimes my friends have to tell me to shut the please, we're not interested anymore. I'm going on and on.
A line you'd like to put on your Pride Parade placard?
Watch me.
Born into the Ranbaxy legacy, but clearly his heart was in stories, cinema and style. From discovering Vicky Kaushal in Zubaan to making a bold move with Famous, a fierce voice for queer expression, he's not just a creator, he's a moment unto himself. Please join me in welcoming the fearless and fashionably fabulous Mozez Singh.
Thank you, thank you. That's such a nice introduction. Thank you so much.
Thank you for making today happen, Mozez, and thank you for letting me into your home. It is absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
Every corner, every curio is clearly your personal expression of style, and that's so fabulous.
Thank you. It is. I mean, I just keep picking up stuff from wherever I go, whatever I like, and then sometimes I have a lot of excess baggage because I'm carrying some big vase from somewhere, but
Yeah, but I think everything just lends so much style and character, right? And
thank you.
Reminiscent of stories of travels and moments.
Yeah, thank you. Traveling is everything.
Yeah, traveling is therapy.
Yeah, it's. I mean, especially like new places, undiscovered places, and just like, just new experiences, new adventures. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
And I mean, coming to your story itself, so inspiring and so path-breaking in itself. Coming from such an illustrious and accomplished corporate pharmaceutical giant, you know, being born into the Ranbaxy family, was there ever pressure on you in choosing a completely different path? Did it like weigh you down?
There wasn't any pressure as such, but there was just like an unspoken expectation that that's what would happen. Because that's what had been happening and that's what everybody else was doing, and it was just assumed that that's what I would also naturally go to. And also films, the kind of environment that we lived in and the kind of world that I belonged to, which was a big industrialist family, very far removed from anything to do with Bombay and to do with films especially. I mean, we have family in Bombay and stuff like that, but it was South Bombay family, nothing to do with movies. I mean, the whole world of cinema was like a whole other world.
Yeah.
It was like a whole other galaxy.
Yeah.
Right? So it was never really something that was within our realm of reality. Right? And it was only when I decided after college in America that I want to do movies and that's what I really want to do and that's what my passion is, and I don't want to be in the family business and I don't want to be doing anything to do with Ranbaxy because it was just absolutely of zero interest to me. That I spoke up, and I met with no resistance at all. It was
lovely.
My parents were incredible. They were incredibly amazing and accommodating, and they told me I should do exactly what I want. And as was, I think my grandfather was a bit disappointed, but eventually it was all fine, and there was no real struggle to do what I wanted. It was actually, on the contrary, it was extremely easy.
Yeah, that's lovely to hear, and full marks to you and kudos to your family for being so supportive and so accepting. But you know, you just said that films and everything to do with that was completely out of your realm.
Yeah.
So in all of this then, where did the storytelling bug sort of bite you?
I really don't know, because the thing is, I've been crazy about films since I can remember. I mean, I've been watching films since I could watch anything. I would actually sharpen pencils to different heights and turn them into characters and voice them and give them all different voices, and kind of like a puppeteer would play with them. And I've been doing that since I was very, very, very young, and it would be like my cocoon that I would go into every day after school and after all of that stuff. Once I got home, and I would just get lost in this world that I was creating. And then I just started writing. I'm really fortunate to be doing that as a career now, because I actually don't want to do anything else. I want to just tell stories.
I'm curious, but you know, you said that it was an expected thing that you would perhaps join the family business. On the flip side, you didn't. Was there an emotional and a mental cost in choosing a different path at some point?
I mean, the difficult thing for me was that I was born into a lot of privilege. I'd never really done anything on my own. So the tough thing was to learn to do my own thing. I mean, I got a job in New York eventually working in the music industry, which I got on my own. It was the first thing I'd ever done for myself. And it was an incredible experience, and I worked with them for almost 5 years. And today, my ex-bosses are my very dear friends, and I had the best time because I was working in the music industry. But that was the first thing I really went and did for myself, and that gave me like a sense of identity that I never had before, because my identity was that I was one of the grandkids from the Ranbaxy family, and that was it. You suddenly had to kind of shed who you were and become someone else, and those kind of transitions are always very tough.
I'm sure, yeah. And you're also a very spiritual person, aren't you? You're
Yeah.
a big. Is that where you sort of get your strength from?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, spirituality has been a big part of my life. Being connected to whatever it is, the higher power, the divine, all of that stuff has all been a very, very big part of my life. I think since the age of 13, 14 years old, I mean, that's when I became aware of it. I'm very involved in that. I'm very, very
Always been a
involved.
Shiva Bhakt?
No, because I mean, I grew up in the Sikh faith, and I love the Sikh faith. It's everything to me. We've always had a small gurdwara in the house, like a small little one.
Yeah.
But Shiva was someone that I discovered in my own journey of life. It wasn't like one miraculous thing happened to me or something like that happened to me. It was a process.
Yeah.
Today I am completely devoted, but it was something that I discovered. It was not something that I grew up with or that I always had in me. No, and the journey goes on.
Yeah, I'm sure. And
Yeah.
it's an everyday learning process.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, talking about your journey itself, you talked about making an early start in the music career and then coming to Bombay, being an outsider, so to speak, in the film industry.
Very much so. I still feel like I am, but it's okay.
But you know, you are credited with the person who discovered Vicky Kaushal.
Yeah.
And what did you see in him back then, which the world is sort of seeing today?
The whole Vicky thing just brings me so much joy. Like, firstly, I'm so happy for him. Like, I promise, I was just speaking to him the other day and I was told him, you know, I have nothing to do with any of his success right now, but every success of his feels personal to me. And I'm just so happy for him. I can't even begin to tell you. And for his family, because I've known them now for many years. But what I saw in him was utter brilliance. I don't know how to explain it, because I was auditioning. Mukesh Chhabra, who was my casting director for Zubaan, had auditioned like 500-600 guys for the part, and I rejected everybody. And Mukesh was losing his patience with me, and everyone was like, "What do you want? Who do you want for this thing?" And I was like, "I don't know how to explain it, but I know what I want." And then Vicky came along. Both of them recommended his name. He was an AD on Anurag Kashyap's Gangs of Wasipur. This guy walked in, and he was adorable, but he was scrawny and thin, and you know, it was just whatever. And I was just like, okay, let me take his audition. I did not think anything phenomenal was going to come out of him. And then I said action, and he started to do the scene in front of me and my ADs, and I had goose flesh, and I was just like, who the hell is this guy? He was that amazing in his first audition itself. And then, of course, I auditioned him repeatedly for the next 10 days because I wanted to be sure. And he was better every day. And then he was just amazing. And I just feel like he has such incredible emotional intelligence as a person that he can literally play any part that you give him.
There's also something very sort of earnest and sincere about him.
Which is actually his reality.
Yeah.
He is that person. And it was his birthday last week, and I was just like, please don't ever change. Please don't become an obnoxious superstar, because like, I'm going to be the first one to call you out and to tell you that you're an asshole if you ever become that person. He deserves everything.
I'm sure, yeah. I mean, he is lovely, yes.
Yeah.
And what an incredible body of work too, right?
Incredible,
like,
and it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's only going to get better,
Yeah. But you know, from Zubaan and then coming to Human, and now a bold move with Famous, the biopic on an oftentimes controversial personality, if I may say so, Yo Yo Honey Singh. How did that come along?
Well, I did Human. Human came out in 2022, January 2022, and it did very well.
Yeah.
And I got a call from Netflix. I got a call from many people actually at that time to do for different projects, but everyone was offering me a version of Human again. And I don't ever want to repeat myself. Like, I find that extremely boring and extremely dull, and I know like a lot of filmmakers want to keep want to kind of strengthen their position by doing a similar kind of film each time, and they get known for that and all that stuff. But I don't really want to be that person. So the famous offer was literally the most out of the box thing that I got offered at that point, and I was like, okay, this is the one that's totally freaking me out, because I don't know how to make a documentary. I'm full scale fiction guy.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I said yes to it, because I didn't know how to make it. Honey has a crazy life, and he's had a crazy, crazy, very roller coaster life. And we all know a lot about it. But I was like, what? I'm sure there is so much more to know that nobody knows of. As a filmmaker, I always wanted to make a film on a rock star. It was a dream of mine, but I thought I would write a fiction story and make it like that. But here I was being offered one on a platter with all the highs and the lows and the everything, the success and the failure and the mental health and the drugs and the misogyny and the domestic violence and this and that. I was like, okay, I have got the most ready dish in front of me. I would be crazy to reject it.
Yeah.
So I did it, and it was very discombobulating in the beginning, because I come from fiction, and I didn't know how I was going to make it happen, but Honey was amazing.
I mean, what a fabulous biopic. But
Thank
when you
you.
started peeling the layers behind this pop star image, was there something that completely took you by surprise, like the man behind the persona?
Yeah, many things. One, that how deeply vulnerable and emotionally actually is, because you don't see that under the whole facade of Yo Yo Honey Singh, which everybody sees publicly, but he's a deeply, deeply emotional, very vulnerable, very soft man, actually. Most importantly, what I discovered about Honey was that what an ear for music he has, actually. He can make a song in a second. Like, he can just make a song out of anything. You give him a melody, you give him a beat, you give him a lyric, he'll turn it into something. It was magical. So all of these things were a great discovery, and of course it was also really, really fun to spend so much time with him and to be traveling with him here, there and everywhere, and just having a blast. Yeah, it was fun. We had a great time. It was fun. It was really fun.
And in living your eclectic lifestyle and making those eclectic choices, is that where, your acting cameos sort of come into play? You sort of debuted alongside Ananya Pandey in Call Me Bae. You were in
I've known her
Fabulous
since
Lives.
she was 2 years old. So it's just like, acting is really not my jam. Okay, let me tell you that. I'm not into it at all. It's really weird, but considering it's all part of the filmmaking process, I'm not into it. It doesn't excite me. For myself, I don't care about it. But all of these things happen because, I am in Bollywood Wives very kindly. They've asked me to come back every season, and the girls are dear friends, and it's all happened out of friendship and love, and even Call Me Bae happened up. It was just a thing that I did. But I have no acting plans. When you're a director, you're getting the other person to get naked. If you know what I mean, you are not the one getting naked. So an actor has to really strip himself and herself of every facade so that the truth of the performance comes out, right? And that, I don't know whether I'm ready to do that to myself.
Yet in your personal life, you've sort of always been very bold, front and center. You live a very proud life as a queer person. Was it tough coming out?
Yeah. Coming out is always tough, I feel. I had it really easy. My parents were so brilliantly amazing about it. They were so supportive, they were so emotional, they were so wonderful. There was not one moment of antagonism against it or trauma or whatever. They were just like, okay, you're our son, this is who you are, we love you for it, we don't care. It was literally that. I never had a difficult time coming out. The difficult time was making the decision to come out.
Okay.
Right? Because from the time you realize, okay, this is who I am and this is what my truth is, to the time that you actually come out, it was a few years for me.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't like, okay, and then suddenly one day I said, okay, tomorrow I'm going to do it. No, it was a few years of dealing with it, because the thing is, you build a persona about yourself when you're in the closet, and you feed yourself and everybody else a lot of lies about who you are. And then you have to break through that. Of course, your world shifts a little bit because things change. So all of those things in your early 20s, because I came out in my early 20s, is very, those are the struggles, but the actual coming out thing was very easy for me. Yeah.
But, you came out in your early 20s, you said, but had you known all along, like for a few years before that?
The thing is, I'd been hooking up with guys from my teens, but I I mean, in the beginning, you think it's a thing. Then you think, okay, maybe I'm bisexual. Because I always had lots of girlfriends. I had lots of romances with girls. And then you realize, okay, no, I actually enjoy this a lot more than, not just sexually, but in every level, I feel more connected to this part of myself. So maybe I am gay. And then when you start to have that discourse with yourself, it takes a while to realize, okay, I actually know, not maybe, I am. Stop maybeing myself. Right? Stop cushioning myself. Stop cushioning the reality. And then, so it's a process. It's a process. So it happened with me like that, at least, and it happened with some of my closest friends like that also. We all went through it together, and that was incredible because we were all having a very similar experience, and that was very, very
and drawing from each other's experiences and strength.
Yeah, it was very therapeutic. We were all there for each other, and those friendships are my forever friendships because they go so deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whilst living in the closet for those years seemed awkward, tell me, has there ever been a moment in your career or public life where being queer felt awkward, sometimes in a room? Or
see, the thing is, it's never going to stop being like that. It always feels a bit awkward, right? I know that there are many, many places that one still walks into and you can see that you're being judged for your appearance or your queerness or whatever it is. That is always going to be there. The point is, will you let it get to you? So I'm just like, screw it. Somehow for people who are LGBTQ, that becomes the first thing that walks into the room, not the fact that they are people.
Yeah. And that shouldn't necessarily be the case, right?
It should never be the case because you don't do that about a heterosexual person.
Totally.
You don't think, oh, this person is heterosexual. Okay, and he's a filmmaker.
Yeah.
You think he's a filmmaker or he's a whatever.
Yeah. It doesn't come with the prefix, he's a gay filmmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, having said that, it's not like that universally. There are a lot of places and people who don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But this does exist. Like it should not exist because it doesn't exist for the rest of the population on this earth.
Yeah.
But it does exist for LGBTQ people, and it's irksome.
Absolutely, and one just wish that people would take cognizance of it and just sort of do away with it. Really, it's their problem. It's not mine.
Accept me for the person that I am, not for who I sleep with.
Yeah.
Right? It's like none of your business.
Absolutely. Mozez, you're an absolute firecracker. There's no way we can't have a rapid fire. So.
Oh.
And I'm sure you're always ready with it. If your personality had a costume, what would you be wearing right now?
Nothing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because that's the realist me. Yeah.
Okay. A Bollywood wife you'd like to cast in your next thriller?
Oh my God, all 4 of them. All 4 of them, and give them the craziest parts where they're all killing each other. All 4 of them, they're all amazing. And now there's a Shalini Pasi also, who's a dear friend and whatever. So yeah, there's that addition to the whole thing.
Okay. If not storytelling, what would be an alternate rebel career?
I don't really know. That's really tough to answer because I do design furniture, right, from time to time, and I love that. But even there, I'm telling a story.
I'm sure.
Yeah, even there, how I conceptualize a piece and how I want the piece to look and all that stuff, it's coming from a story in my head. So I don't really know what I would be doing if I wasn't doing that, because that's all that's my jam.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my jam. It's to be able to tell a story.
Lovely.
I mean, I can really spin a yarn. Like I can really I'm known for it.
Okay.
Sometimes my friends have to tell me to shut the please, we're not interested anymore. I'm going on and on, so yeah.
The worst piece of advice you've ever taken?
Do we have all day? I mean, I have a laundry list of bad advice that I've taken. One of the worst pieces of advice that I've ever got is when someone told me, in order to make it, you have to fit in.
If there was a spin-off on your own, Fabulous Life of Mozez Singh, which 3 celebs would be your constant squad?
Jack Nicholson, Madonna, and I don't know, Rekha, I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it would be a room.
Sizzling.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, lovely. And because we're celebrating and talking pride, it's time for a pride fire, perhaps?
Okay.
A queer icon you'd love to brunch with?
She's not queer, but I don't know whether she's queer or not, but she's definitely iconic in the queer.
Yeah, definitely iconic.
Yeah, Madonna. Yeah. I love her. She's been a huge influence on me and my closest friends since she arrived, and continues to be. And we don't care if she looks crazy and whatever, all of
Not
that
at
stuff.
all, my God,
We
yeah.
don't care. We just love her. We love her spirit. We love her soul. We love her music. We've danced and danced and danced to her music all over the world in the most incredible clubs. And she means so much to me and to so many people that I know, and the spirit that she lives her life with and the audacity that she lives her life with. So Madonna for sure. She would be my number one
Nice.
queer date.
Nice. Straight people need to stop asking queer people.
Straight people need to stop asking queer people, do you think I'm gay? Because, like, you know what? I don't give a shit. I don't care if you're gay or straight. I don't care about anything. I don't care about your sexuality. I find the whole straight, gay, all of that stuff very, very, very defining and controlling. I think sometimes people get attracted to each other out of many other reasons, whether it's energy or whether it's, I don't know, it's some kind of moment in time that's happening, something that you can't explain, something that's happening in the ether. I don't really know, right? And these questions that straight people ask gay people scare the shit out of them because they're waiting to hear an answer. No, you're not, and then they can have sex with you, right? Because suddenly you validated them. But stop asking the question. No one cares.
Yeah. All right. A stereotype about the LGBTQ community which you want to just burn and perhaps even sprinkle some glitter on.
That they're all like vacuous party people who don't do anything constructive with their lives, and they just want to like look glamorous and good and go to parties and
promiscuous
and be promiscuous and be decadent and crazy. But no, sure, that exists, but that exists in every area and every culture and every kind of community on this planet.
Absolutely.
Right? It is not the the crown that should be affixed on the head of the LGBTQ community. It is prevalent everywhere. Every second person is promiscuous and every second person is decadent and whatever. Like, please.
Yeah.
So I hate that labeling, right? I think they need to be taken with a lot more seriousness within the community, and it should not be just because someone is dressing up and being extravagant that their entire life is a life of flamboyance and stupidity. No, it's not. They're just having fun in that moment in time. So that really bothers me, and the promiscuous thing.
Yeah. And if queerness was a color, what would it be?
White, so that you could color it whichever way that you wanted to once you brought yourself into it.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And also very pure, right?
Yeah, white, pure, clean,
Yeah.
the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A line you'd like to put on your Pride Parade placard?
Watch me.
Nice. A Bollywood star that you think is absolutely ready to play an iconic queer role?
There are few actually who I think would be amazing in queer roles. I think Saif would be an amazing queer character amazingly. I think someone like Hrithik Roshan would play a queer character amazingly. All these guys, all these actors have extreme emotional depth and extreme emotional intelligence. I think Vicky would play a queer character amazingly. Ranveer Singh would play a queer character. I think these guys have very, very, very deep feminine sides to their personalities, and they would easily be able to kind of traverse through the yin and yang of gender and come out with something which is really, really, really beautiful on screen.
Yeah.
Just want to specify. In case instead it's just taken out of context.
No, not at all. We'll be mindful of that. Thank you, Mozez, for opening up, for letting us into your home. This has been fabulous.
My pleasure.
And for sharing your incredibly inspiring story.
Thank you.
I couldn't have asked for, a better person to share Pride with.
Thank you.
On InControversial. I think someone who's a constant reminder of loving boldly and living absolutely unapologetically, if I may say so.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
That makes me feel really happy that that I'm looked at like that. You know what I mean? Because I am not purposely trying to be this person. I'm just being. So if that's what's coming out of me, well and good, because that's who I want to be.
Yeah. Signing out from InControversial. Thank you so much for watching. Till we meet next again, stay bold and live authentically. Thank you.